Bryant looking. Artest, that's a three. Bang! Lakers by 6 with a minute to play.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Hustle Hoops. Today's question, you can tell by the title, is Russell Westbrook a legend? So this question really just sparked up by, well, obviously, this season, Russell Westbrook, this has been a historical season. I feel like we've been saying that every year for the past 5 years now. A historical season for Westbrook, but now seriously, it is. He passed Oscar Robertson with triple doubles, 182. That was like a couple weeks ago. I know I'm old to that, and this is really just sparking from a conversation I had what was it, 2 days ago now, or was it yesterday? I don't know. I think it was 2 days ago now. Talking to one of my friends, and he was like, "Bro," he said, "Is Westbrook a legend?" And off my top of my head, I'm like, "Yeah, Westbrook is easily a legend." When it comes to the 2010s decade, Westbrook has played the entirety of the 2010s, and he's been a monster this whole decade. Starting out in 2010, he only had one season this decade when he didn't average 20 points, and that was in 2010. You go to 2011, it had 20, 21, 23, 23, 21, 28, league leading in 2015, 23. Then I had 31 in 2017, my MVP year, league leading. 25, 22, 27. So it's kind of like, I don't even know how we even got to the point where we're even asking that question, is Westbrook a legend? But it's crazy because you're gonna have all the Westbrook haters who say, well, it's not all about points. So then that's when I'll bring up, okay, look at his boarding, look at his assisting. I've been averaging a triple double for the past 5 seasons. That's never been done in NBA history. So how can I do something that's never been done, but I'm not a legend, or my legendary status is even in question? And I'm not even trying to fault. This is not like a knock on the person I was talking to. It's just kind of like, it's interesting that that's a question in the NBA community, and I feel like that's something that shouldn't even be there. Westbrook, his whole career has dealt with hate. You had him with Stephen A. and everything like that. Stephen A. talking about he's not a winner. It don't matter what he does. He has to win a championship. He got to win a championship. And Westbrook's like, bro, but I've been a winner ever since I came to the league. I wasn't supposed to be here. I kind of sided with that. And so what I've realized is, and the point that I was trying to make to the person is, realistically, not everybody can have a championship. Let's be honest. No, not every legend or great player is going to have a ring. There's going to go many legends that don't have a ring. So if that's just the criteria, because I don't have a ring, it makes me not a legend, we lose a bunch of legends in NBA history. You lose Charles Barkley. Now he's just not a legend anymore. You lose Karl Malone. Now he's not a legend anymore. We lose Allen Iverson. So he's not a legend anymore. And that's just to name a few. It's just kind of crazy. So that mean Kevin Garnett, before he got his ring with Boston, wasn't a legend? No, he was a legend. In my opinion, what makes Kevin Garnett a top 5 power forward of all time is not that ring he got. It's what he was doing in Minnesota. He just wasn't able to get it done. He was still a legend, though. Does that mean Dirk wasn't a legend before he got his ring in 2011? 2011 was way later in his career. Even if he retired, yeah, we would look back in Dirk and say maybe he was a playoff choker, but he would still be a legend. We'd never seen nobody like that. He'd still be the greatest foreign player of all time, even without that ring. So I don't think that the ring, automatically, if Russell Westbrook just magically gets some type of Blake Griffin type ring, like Blake Griffin trying to do in the Nets, would that make Russell Westbrook 5 years from now, he gets some random old bench warmer ring? Does that make him a legend like Dwight Howard just did? So now is Dwight Howard a legend now because he got that ring with LA? I think Dwight Howard was already a legend because Dwight Howard was the best center of the 2010s decade, and nobody can tell me different. So when you're really thinking about it like this, the way I try to think about it is, are we going to remember these people when they're gone? Realistically, 20, 30 years from now, are we going to remember these people? I say yes. And I try to liken it to Allen Iverson to the point where it's like, AI, he doesn't have a ring, but Allen Iverson is legendary. Allen Iverson, for everybody who was in the 2000s decade watching basketball, there was not many people you wanted to watch other than AI. You had Kobe, AI was right there as entertainment factor. You had Tracy, AI was right there as far as entertainment factor. It's not even a question that Tim Duncan is a legend, which I think he might be the greatest power forward of all time. But realistically, did you want to watch a Tim Duncan game, or were you trying to watch Allen Iverson hoop? I'm turning on Allen Iverson. I'm turning on Allen Iverson highlights. Realistically, before I turn on Tim Duncan, Kobe, well, him and Kobe, Allen Iverson and Kobe are the people I'm watching from the 2000 decade. But I'm turning on AI before I turn on Tim Duncan, before I turn on Garnett, before I turn on Dirk, before I turn on Shaq, before I turn on D Wade. These are the legends that we like to say from the 2010s decade, right? Those are the legends from the 2000s. Those are the people we want to bring up. Before I'm putting on young Braun highlights, I'm putting on Allen Iverson. Why? Because AI was the most electrifying player at that time, the most polarizing on and off the floor. He's always saying something to media. We talking about practice, really? He got the media attention. I'm pulling up to games and all these different type of clothes. Like, I was a star. Allen Iverson was a star, regardless if he won a ring or not. He was a star, and on top of that, I'm dragging teams to the finals. That's a star, bro. That's a legend. AI did legendary stuff. He has legendary moments. That's what makes a legend. Are we going to remember you or not? That's the question. A legend is just somebody who you remember, realistically, after they're gone. Now, that's what a legend is. AI, we remember Allen Iverson. He has the cross on Jordan. Boop, boop, boop. Bank Jordan up real quick. Then I have the snatch back on Ty Lue. Westbrook has moments like that. Westbrook is going to have moments where we're going to remember. We're going to remember when Westbrook is booming and he's adjusting his face mask. When I'm dunking, I'm doing the baseline march. When I'm hitting that three against Denver to knock them out the playoffs, to seal all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to remember that. We're going to remember his MVP season. That Shamgar pass to Steven Adams I did. Westbrook has a lot of moments and electrifying times where we're going to remember him when we're gone. Like, Westbrook was I said this, and this is just my opinion, of the 2010s decade, Westbrook was the second most fun player to watch behind Stephen Curry. But if I really realistically wanted to see somebody get hype, I was turning on Westbrook. The way that Thunder crowd in the playoffs, that Thunder crowd from 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, they got hype. Really, KD was the best player on that team. Yes, but Westbrook was the driving factor of that crowd getting hyped, the energy in the building. Russell Westbrook was he's easily a legend. Like, I don't think just looking at the numbers that he's put up, regardless, it's quite mind-boggling that that's even a question. When I'm averaging, like I said, I'm averaging a triple-double in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Y'all all heard this before. I don't really care about my free throw percentage, right? That's not a criteria for being a legend, okay? Scratch that out the list. I don't care if I'm shooting 65% from the free throw line. That doesn't matter, okay? I'm still giving you 22, 11, 11, and I'm driving winning basketball. It doesn't matter. You don't say, oh, is he really driving winning basketball? Realistically, when Westbrook's playing at his best, his team wins. Everybody likes to say, all the fans and everything wants to say whatever, but realistically, when you see what all his teammates are saying about him, all of his teammates love Westbrook. All his coaches are going to praise him. NBA players praise him. It's just us as stupid, delusional fans who get stuck in box scores and look at field goal percentage. We're going to look at Westbrook's field goal percentage and say he shot 43% from the field this season, so he must be trash. Bro, stop looking at box scores. Stop looking at field goal percentage. Watch Westbrook hoop, and you're going to see something that you've never seen before. You're going to see something that you can't do on your basketball court in your driveway. You can't do it. Yeah, that's Westbrook. You can see him throw down a ferocious dunk. See him throw a no-look pass. Westbrook's one of the best playmakers in the game right now. I just led the league in assists. When you watch me hoop, I'm here getting 20 assist games, 24 assist games. You know how hard that is? Yeah, Westbrook is doing that. As a 6'3" guard, I'm skying up to get rebounds. It's a myth. Don't believe the myth that Westbrook is just out here. His centers are giving him boards. No, I've seen Westbrook get offensive and defensive rebounds amongst the trees, over big men, skying up over men, over 3-4 guys getting a rebound. Don't believe the hype that I'm just manufacturing boards just because Steven Adams let me get them. No, he's skying up to get these offensive and defensive rebounds to secure the win and do as much as he can for his team. I'm driving to the basket. I was one of the most electrifying finishers of my generation. It's like, come on, bro. Realistically, there's no question that that Westbrook isn't a legend. I have him ranked. Now I'm not gonna have him ranked super crazy high all time. And realistically, people want to get into like top 50 greatest all time. I don't think that really matters. The only the highest you really need to go is like 15. After 15, it gets kind of grayish, and the debate kind of gets. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of like a gray area, and it's kind of hard to actually solidify spots after 15. However, you can do top 15, but I try to do it by positions. And realistically, Westbrook is top 10 point guard of all time. and it's not even close. And he's closer to that fifth spot. You're gonna have, and this off the top of my head, you're gonna have Magic, you're gonna have Steph, you're gonna have Isaiah Thomas, you're gonna have Steve Nash, you're gonna have Chris Paul. After you get that, I mean, Westbrook, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, they're all close. And honestly, if you're telling me to pick it, I'm picking Westbrook well over John Stockton, over Jason Kidd, dang near close to Steve Nash. So everybody loves Steve Nash, but yeah, I think Westbrook might be even higher all time than him. So him and Chris Paul, I think it's realistically, I might have it as Magic 1, Steph 2, Isaiah Thomas 3, Chris Paul 4, and Westbrook right there at number 5th. He's the 5th greatest point guard of all time. Unless you want to consider Oscar Robertson and Jerry West point guards, then they're going to bump them two out, but I might have them on my shooting guards list. But if you want to put Oscar and Jerry there, cool. But Westbrook has his name right up there with those greats, man. And it's just really sad to say. Like, and the last point before I get out of here, he was like, oh, he's not a winner. He doesn't have playoff success. Like I said, everybody can't win a chip. So okay, you don't got to win a chip, but you can at least get to it. I mean, okay, that's fair. But when Westbrook had to go against the teams he had in the Western Conference Finals, okay, I mean the Western Conference when he's going, he had the dynastic Spurs, kind of their late run, early 2010s. The Warriors were on the rise. He had those Chris Paul Clippers teams. It was some tough comp, and I'm not excusing him for not getting there, but a lot of times when I watch like the Thunder hoop or whatever, and even in the playing game the other day, Westbrook didn't shoot particularly well. But when I was watching that game, I didn't feel like the loss was completely on Westbrook. And I feel like people who watch box scores would just try to automatically. He didn't play a good game. He didn't. However, it didn't seem like Westbrook was shooting him out of the game. I know he's done that sometimes. You're going to have some turnovers here or there, but that's every legend. Everybody has moments where they just fumble the bag. So you can't even. Y'all trying to hold Westbrook to some Michael Jordan type standard. He's not Michael Jordan. He's nowhere close to that. Hold him to the standard where he is at. Okay? He's not even on Magic's level. Hold him to the standard where he's at. The players I said he's more so around is Steve Nash, John Stockton. Compare him to Chris Paul. These type of players in that point guard list, that's what you need to compare him to. And when we see that, I think he's right up there, deserving to be in those names. Nobody in 20 years is going to forget Chris Paul. Nobody's ever going to doubt Chris Paul's legendary status. So why are we doubting Russell Westbrook's? I mean, when I'm getting my team 40, 50 wins consistently every season, I think that's a winner. I'm having over 500 records. I think that's a winner. When I'm a top 4 seed most of the time, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seed most of the time, 6 seed most of the time, I think that's a winner. If I'm not just out here battling for the 8 seed every year, like the Pacers or Hornets, I think that's a winner. When I'm getting to the second round, third round, every once in a while, that's a winner. As long as I'm not Tracy McGrady getting knocked out in the first round every year, I think that's a winner. Like realistically, you can't try to have every single player get to the conference finals and the NBA finals every single season. It's only 30 teams, and that's not how it works. That's not how basketball works. You can have great players on bad teams, and they still be legends.